How to become rich and stay wealthy. Most people want to be rich. Fewer people think about staying wealthy. This difference is subtle, but it changes everything. Becoming rich is often seen as an event, a breakthrough, a moment of success. Staying wealthy is a process, a discipline, a way of thinking that must survive time. Many people achieve income. Some experience financial success, but sustaining wealth is far rarer. Not because wealth is mysterious, but because wealth is misunderstood. Richness versus wealth. Richness is visible. High income, expensive purchases, external signals of success. Wealth is quieter. Wealth is what remains, what survives expenses, what continues when income stops. Richness can appear suddenly. Wealth rarely does. Richness is about earning. Wealth is about preserving, multiplying, and protecting. Confusing the two leads many people into a familiar cycle. Earn more, spend more, feel successful, remain fragile. Why income alone does not create wealth? Income feels powerful because it is immediate. Money comes in. Choices expand. Comfort increases. But income is flow, not foundation. Flow can stop. Flow can shrink. Flow can change without warning. Wealth is built from what is kept, not what is earned. Two people can earn the same amount. One becomes wealthy. The other remains dependent. The difference is rarely income size. It is behavior. The quiet power of retention. Wealth begins with retention. Keeping a portion of what you earn. This sounds simple. But simplicity does not mean ease. Retention requires resisting invisible pressures. Lifestyle upgrades. Social comparison. Impulse satisfaction. Without retention, wealth has no starting point. You cannot multiply what disappears. Why spending feels more natural than saving. Spending is emotional. It produces immediate reward, immediate comfort, immediate stimulation. Saving is abstract. Its rewards are delayed, invisible, psychological rather than sensory. The brain prefers now over later. So most people spend automatically and save deliberately. Wealthy thinking reverses this pattern. Saving becomes automatic. Spending becomes intentional. Wealth requires structural thinking. Many people approach money emotionally. I feel like I deserve this. I worked hard. I'll earn more later. Wealth requires structural thinking. Systems, processes, rules that operate regardless of mood. Because emotions fluctuate. Structures endure. Wealth is not built through occasional discipline. It is built through consistent architecture. Becoming rich often requires leverage. Income from effort alone has limits. There are only so many hours you can work. Only so much energy you can expend. Leverage expands capacity. Assets, investments, systems, ownership. Leverage allows value creation beyond personal presence. Without leverage, income growth eventually plateaus. With leverage, growth detaches from time. Why most people delay leverage? Leverage requires patience. Initial effort with delayed rewards. It often feels slow at first, uncertain, less emotionally satisfying than direct income. So people delay. They prioritize immediate earning over long-term scaling. But time favors leverage. Effort compounds when detached from hours. The psychology of compounding. Compounding is rarely dramatic in the beginning. Small growth. Minimal visible change. But compounding accelerates. Slow progress becomes meaningful progress. Meaningful progress becomes substantial progress. Those who quit early never experience acceleration. Those who persist benefit disproportionately. Wealth respects patience. Why becoming rich is easier than staying wealthy? Sudden success is possible. Sustained success is difficult. Because staying wealthy requires resisting forces that increase with income. Lifestyle inflation. Overconfidence. Reduced caution. The more money people earn, the more expensive their lives often become. This cancels progress. Wealth demands stability of behavior even as capacity grows. Lifestyle inflation, the silent wealth killer. When income rises, expectations rise. Better car, better house, better everything. These upgrades feel logical. But they introduce fixed costs. Fixed costs reduce flexibility. Flexibility supports security. Many people become richer and simultaneously more fragile. More income, more obligations, less freedom. Wealthy thinking separates income growth from lifestyle growth. Comfort increases slowly. Assets increase steadily. Wealth is built on asymmetry. Wealth grows when income increases faster than expenses. This gap is everything. Small gaps produce slow progress. Large gaps produce acceleration. But most people unconsciously shrink the gap. They match expenses to income. Wealth disappears into comfort. Why appearances distort financial decisions? Social signals are powerful. People feel pressure to look successful. Success becomes performance. Purchases become identity statements. But wealth is mathematical, not visual. Looking wealthy and being wealthy are often opposites. True wealth frequently avoids attention. Because attention encourages spending. Risk and wealth. Wealth requires risk. But not reckless risk. Measured risk. Calculated exposure. Avoiding all risk prevents growth. Embracing excessive risk destroys stability. Wealth respects balance. Aggression builds. Caution preserves. Both are necessary. Why wealth requires emotional control. Money amplifies personality. Impulsive people become more impulsive. Fearful people become more fearful. Emotional volatility destabilizes financial decisions. Wealth requires calm. Not constant confidence, but steady reasoning. Because markets fluctuate. Opportunities shift. Uncertainty persists. Emotional stability becomes financial stability. The discipline of long-term thinking. Most financial mistakes are short-term decisions. Immediate pleasure over delayed benefit. Immediate comfort over structural strength. Wealth requires long timelines. Years. Decades. Decisions are filtered through durability. What will this mean later? What is the long-term cost? This thinking feels slower, but it prevents expensive errors. Why patience outperforms intelligence. Many intelligent people struggle financially, not because they lack knowledge, but because patience is harder than analysis. Wealth is less about brilliance and more about endurance. Avoiding major mistakes. Repeating sound decisions. Allowing time to work. Consistency compounds. Wealth requires identity alignment. Behavior follows identity. If you see yourself as a spender, saving feels restrictive. If you see yourself as an investor, saving feels natural. Wealth is sustained when actions align with self-image. I am someone who builds. I am someone who preserves. I am someone who thinks long-term. Identity reduces friction. Discipline becomes less forced. Why many people self-sabotage after success. Sudden income increases create psychological tension. New expectations. New pressures. New temptations. Without internal adjustment, behavior destabilizes. People overspend. Overcommit. Overestimate stability. Wealth requires gradual scaling of lifestyle and psychology. External change must match internal adaptation. The quiet role of humility. Wealth is fragile when confidence becomes arrogance. Markets humble certainty. Reality punishes overconfidence. Humility protects wealth. It preserves caution. Encourages learning. Prevents reckless expansion. Wealthy individuals often think defensively. Not pessimistically, but realistically. Preservation is as important as growth. Many focus on making money. Fewer focus on protecting it. Wealth requires preservation. Avoiding unnecessary losses. Managing downside. Reducing exposure to catastrophic risk. Because recovering from large losses is mathematically difficult. Avoiding destruction is often more powerful than chasing growth. Why wealth requires optionality. Optionality is flexibility. The ability to change direction. To adapt. To walk away. High fixed costs reduce optionality. Low obligations increase resilience. Wealth thrives in flexibility. Rigid lifestyles create pressure. Pressure drives poor decisions. The illusion of permanent growth. Many assume income will continue rising. But growth is rarely linear. Careers change. Industries shift. Health fluctuates. Wealth planning respects uncertainty. Buffers are built. Margins maintained. Assuming stability invites fragility. Wealth requires energy management. Money decisions require clarity. Clarity requires energy. Overworked, stressed individuals make reactive decisions. Wealth benefits from mental space. Time to think. Time to evaluate. Time to resist impulse. Financial discipline is partly cognitive discipline. Why simplicity often outperforms complexity. Complex financial strategies attract attention. But complexity increases error probability. Simple systems endure. Spend less than you earn. Invest consistently. Avoid major mistakes. Think long-term. Wealth rarely depends on cleverness. It depends on stability. The discipline of repetition. Wealth-building actions are often repetitive. Regular investing. Controlled spending. Continuous learning. Repetition feels boring. But boredom is often a sign of stability. Excitement frequently accompanies volatility. Wealth respects monotony. Why wealth is psychological before it is financial. Money magnifies internal patterns. Fear, greed, impatience, impulse. Without psychological stability, financial stability is unlikely. Wealth is sustained through mindset, calm reasoning, delayed gratification, long-term orientation. Behavior precedes outcome. The quiet truth about becoming rich. There is no single formula, no universal path, but patterns emerge. Retention, leverage, patience, emotional control, long-term thinking, preservation. Wealth is rarely accidental. It is cumulative. The quiet truth about staying wealthy. Sustaining wealth is often harder than creating it, because success introduces new risks. Overexpansion, overconfidence, lifestyle instability. Wealth demands continuous awareness, continuous restraint, continuous clarity. Final thought. Becoming rich is often seen as reaching a destination. Staying wealthy is understanding there is no destination, only ongoing decisions, ongoing discipline, ongoing thinking. Wealth is not built once. It is maintained daily, quietly, through choices that rarely look dramatic, but over time define everything.